All right. Hi, everyone. And thank you for taking the time out of your day to come and learn more about Code the Dream. We're so excited to tell you more and excited to see if you may be interested in joining our program. My name is Ashley. I am the Outreach and Admissions Coordinator here at Code the Dream. And Lori, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. Hi, everyone. I'm Lori Kamala. I'm the program director here at Code the Dream. Excited to see many of you here.
Yes, and we're also excited because we have a lot of people who come from Uplead Global to Code the Dream. And today we do have two panelists who are actually in our program right now who came to share their experience with you all too. I do want to introduce Edith and Ariel, and we'll talk with them more at the end of the session and ask them a few questions before we get into our open-ended questions. All right. Right now, we're about to share more about our program, such as our mission, our classes, and also our application process. So, Lori, if you don't mind, next screen. All right. So our mission here at Code the Dream, 3 points. So one, we create opportunities that change lives. So we help you go from maybe knowing a little bit about coding all the way into getting that high-paying career in software development. So that is our main mission here. And then also we build technology that benefits our communities, which is through our Code the Dreams labs. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Oh, Lord, you want to go back one? Sorry. All right. And then lastly, we support the diversity that drives a more just and innovative world. So at Code the Dream, we help to serve the underserved communities and also lower income to balance out the tech world and make it more diverse. There's not a lot of diversity, but there are a lot of high paying jobs. And what we hope to do is take you from, like we said, step one all the way to the high paying career while also benefiting the world by making that field more diverse. All right, so now we'll talk about the two different parts to our program. So one is our Code the Dream Learns, which you guys, if you are interested, will be enrolling in, which is our free intensive classes in web development. So for our program, you do have to be 18 years or older and currently residing within the United States. You don't have to be documented or anything, but just currently living inside of the United States. So for our classes, they are asynchronous, so they're flexible, meant for the adult learner, where you'll learn by watching pre-recorded videos, and then we'll have our live mentor sessions all throughout the week, both group mentoring and a one-on-one mentoring, to help you to get through those challenging lessons. Also, our classes are 18 weeks long, so about 4 months long, and yeah, we'll get into the basics after this as well. And then for the Code the Dream Labs, that's our real world experience through paid apprenticeships. So although that program is highly competitive, that'll be your first, if you are in the program, your first real job as a software developer where you have that hands-on experience completing projects for clients. All right, so now we'll take you through our participant path. This gives you a visual way. Oh, sorry. This gives you a visual way of seeing how you can go from the online application all the way to starting your high paying career as a software developer. So first you complete our online application, and then you'll complete our pre-work, which is also a part of our application. So for our pre-work, it benefits us and it benefits you. For you, it helps you to see if you can complete and have enough time in your schedule to complete our classes. So our pre-work is designed to imitate 1 week's worth of course load. So about 15 to 20 hours per week is what you can see yourself spending in our program. So you'll watch those pre-recorded videos, and you'll also be able to see if you can learn in the environment that we teach. All right. And for us, it'll help us to gauge your interest, one, if you are able to submit that assignment, and then also to kind of see how your skills are just beginning in our course. All right, so if you are accepted into Code the Dream, you can have one of two options. You can go right into our Intro to Programming class where we teach you web development basics. All right, and then, or you can go into our advanced classes if you already know a lot about JavaScript, HTML, CSS, APIs, things like that. All right, so we do have 3 advanced classes that happen on both the front end and then the back end development. So we have React, Node/Express, and then Ruby on Rails. All right, so like I said, our classes are 18 weeks long, so about 4 months. Now, The next step is the practicum, and that comes after our advanced classes. So the practicum is an additional 8 to 10 weeks where you'll get your first group work assignment, where you'll work with a group to build and deploy an app. All right, so this is experience you can put right on your resume when you're going into interviews for software development. Now, after our practicum, you do have the ability to apply to our Code the Dream Labs, which is our paid apprenticeship program that I mentioned a bit beforehand. So you'll get that experience. It's a full-time experience. It's paid, and you'll come into our team and work on projects for clients. Now, like I said, that is highly competitive. So some people may go on to take another advanced course if they want to, complete another practicum or whatnot. But at this point, you also can apply to associate developer positions, outside apprenticeships, internships, anything like that. All right. And then, so from our CTD labs, then you could go on to start your career as a high paying job as a software developer. And one thing I forgot to mention as well is that you guys can start putting questions in the chat if you'd like to. We will answer most questions at the end. But if you're like me, and for me, I'm like, if I don't put my question, I'm going to forget it. So if you have a question, just make sure you put it in the chat. All right. And we'll answer it at the end. All right, so this is information about our upcoming classes. So our classes also operate in a trimester format. So we do have spring classes, summer classes, and fall classes. So for right now, our next upcoming trimester is summer, but you can apply for our fall and spring 2025 classes at this time. All right, so we'll go through our current offerings for our courses coming up in the summer. I want you to ignore the class names at the top. It may be a little confusing, but we'll go to the class types. All right, so we have our Intro to Programming class, and that starts May 22nd of this year, and the end date is September 24th, so about 4 months. And like I said, in this class, you will learn web development basics such as JavaScript, HTML, and CSS. At the end of this class, you'll have developed a portfolio where you can start building skills on top of. And with that portfolio at the end, you'll of course go to apply to jobs with that. All right. And then for our advanced classes, if you do want to skip past the intro class, you can go into Node, React, or Ruby on Rails. Those classes start a bit later on June 12th of 2024, and the latest that it will end is February 4th of 2025. So that includes our class, our 18-week class, I think about a 2-week break, and then our practicum as well too. All right. And then at the bottom, you can just see that Node is backend, React is front end development, and Ruby on Rails is backend. All right. So one thing I would say is that you can take the Node and React class at the same time, only if you have about 40 hours per week to dedicate to that class. So you do have to make sure you have a good amount of time to dedicate, but you can't take one Node class, one React class, one Ruby on Rails class. Also for Ruby and Rails, you can only take that by itself. You can't take another advanced class with it as well. All right. All right, so we can go into our general class requirements. So for previous knowledge for the Intro to Programming, we don't have any requirements beforehand, but it is helpful to have some exposure to basic programming concepts and also familiarity with computer basics such as organizing files, saving files, things of that sort. But by completing our pre-work, you will already have gauged majority of that of what's helpful. So really there's no requirements for our Intro to Programming class. Now for our advanced class, some previous experience required is JavaScript for Node and React applicants, and then GitHub and APIs for all advanced class applicants. And then make sure to keep putting questions in the chat if you do have any. All right. And then, so for tools, for the Intro to Programming class, we do ask that you have a simple basic computer or just any computer that you have reliable access to make sure that you're completing the classes, the assignments on time. All right. So a simple basic computer is preferable over a hybrid tablet such as a Chromebook. Now, if you do have a Chromebook, you can still complete the intro class, but there's just a few workarounds you'll have to do. But luckily, our mentors are there to help, and they'll help you with those workarounds. All right. And we also ask that you have reliable Wi-Fi. So we don't deal with any confidential information. So you can work at like a Starbucks or a library, anywhere with public Wi-Fi. You don't have to have your own Wi-Fi. Now, for the advanced classes, we do ask that you have that reliable computer and not a hybrid tablet, because these classes won't work with the Chromebook. But we also ask that that computer has sufficient RAM, such as memory, so that you can store and save files. And then also have reliable internet. Now, one thing that you can do, let's say if you don't have a computer, is some libraries let you rent out laptops. Also, depending on your budget, you can always go on a Facebook Marketplace or an eBay or whatnot, but there are options out there. All right. And then for all classes, we look for you to have a commitment to working through those challenging lessons. So like I said, this is a kind of reverse learning environment. So there aren't live teaching sessions. So you will learn based off of video. However, our mentors are there, like I said, all throughout the week to accommodate different time zone and all. To help you to work through those challenging lessons. So as long as you have that commitment to knowing that, hey, I'm going to work through these challenging lessons, and I'm going to almost hold yourself accountable to asking those questions at the mentoring sessions or whatnot, they're 100% there to help you. All right. So just have that commitment to knowing that the end goal is to be a software developer and just working through those lessons. Now for time, like I said in the beginning, the classes require about 15 to 20 hours of coursework a week on average. So I say on average because some people may complete it earlier. Some people may complete it with more hours. I know for me personally, it may take me a little time in the beginning, but once I'm in the habit of and in the hang of just working with everything, it takes me a short amount of time. So this really depends on you. However, let's say you're in the classes and next week, you know you have a lot coming up. Well, you can work at too. So that's one of the benefits of our flexible class schedule as well too. So you can work ahead, and even if you may fall behind, our mentors are there to help to catch you up as well too. So look to see about 15 to 20 hours that you may have open in your week. All right, for next steps, we ask you to add the classes at codethedream.org email to your contacts list, just so we won't go to spam or junk mail. And then for our summer 2024 application deadline, so for March 17th or before, we ask that you complete the application, and this comes after the application request. So what you would do is you will go to our website at codethedream.org/apply, and you'll request an application. This doesn't take long. It's just asking like age, where you stay, what state you live in, things like that, so that we can kind of filter out those who may be under 18 or who don't reside in the United States. All right. And then just to reiterate again, you don't have to be a U.S. citizen. You just have to live within the United States. All right. And then the pre-work instructions will be emailed after you complete the application. So the application is about 8 to 10 minutes. That's how long it took me. But we do ask that you be a bit more detailed in your explanations, just so we can gauge like how interested you are in the program. And for those pre-work instructions specifically, read them carefully and then watch the pre-work video at the top of the instruction page. So me, I actually did most of the pre-work by now. And I don't have any previous coding experience, but those instructions are very helpful. And if you do have any questions at any time while you're going through the pre-work, definitely make sure to email classes@codethedream.org with any questions, because we're here to help you succeed, okay? And we want you to get into the program. Now, for March 31st or before, we ask that you submit your pre-work assignment, as March 31st is the deadline for that pre-work. Now, on April 15th, you would check your email to find out if you've been accepted or not. All right. So for pre-work information, so for the intro applicants, you will have a tutorial that's in Khan Academy if you ever heard of it. And this will all be listed in your instructions. But within that tutorial, it'll help you to prepare and learn the material that you need to know in order to complete the pre-work assignment that you will then turn in. So one thing to note about the Khan Academy tutorials is that you can watch those videos as many times as you want. We won't see your progress in Khan Academy at all. So just use it to help you to learn. You can skip around lessons, whatever you need to do, but that's all in preparation for the pre-work assignment that you'll then submit. For the advanced class applicants, we ask you to build a static website. This can be a single or multi-page website with navigation and some styling features that uses an open source API to display data to a user. Now for the, let's say if you're applying to like a React class, you don't have to build that website using React. All right. You can use regular vanilla JavaScript or whatever program that you know to complete that website. Now, some people may ask if you can use any kind of bootstrapping or design tools, in which you can, but we do ask if you use any kind of templates to make some modifications, do some manual styling so that we can see your skills. All right. So if you may ask which pre-work do you do, well, then in turn, we'll ask you, do you know what an API is? If you do know what an API is, we ask that you attempt the advanced pre-work. And if you're looking at your instructions while you're doing the advanced pre-work and you see that you may have some knowledge gaps, or you may say, hey, I just want to do the intro pre-work, this may be a little harder, no worries. We just ask you to stop the advanced pre-work assignment and do the intro pre-work assignment, which we'll then send you. So once you stop that assignment, definitely email us and we'll send you that information for the intro pre-work. But then you'll then be considered for the intro class. Now, if you don't know what an API is, like me, then you'll do the intro pre-work. All right, and then if you're applying for more than one advanced class, you only have to do one advanced pre-work. And then and like I said, this is a part of your application. So if you don't submit a pre-work assignment, then you will not be considered for the class you applied for. All right, so class information. All applicants will be notified of your result of your application, whether you're accepted or not, on April 15th. So the best way to increase your chances of being accepted is to make sure in your pre-work assignment that you follow all the guidelines, that you follow everything that's needed for your code, okay? All right, so all classes will have an orientation 2 weeks prior to your class start date. So for May 22nd with the Intro to Programming class start date, you will have your orientation the week of May 6th, and that date and time is to be determined. Now, if we find out what that date and time is, we will definitely let you know once you get your results on April 15th, but you'll know no later than the week before the orientation date. All right, so for the advanced classes, you will have your orientation the week of May 27th. All right, now, so 2 weeks before the classes start, you'll have your orientation. The week before your classes start, we'll have office hours, which is available all throughout the week, but it's basically a time for you to ask questions, for us to help you get set up and prepared, because we want you to be 100% confident once you start those classes. All right, so that time is for you. And then during the class, so you'll work through the lessons and assignments weekly, and then you'll attend live mentor sessions to get a better understanding of class curriculum and get questions answered. And one thing I do want to note is that, like I said, we have the group mentoring sessions, we have the one-on-one appointments you can make with mentors, and also we do have live student study sessions too. And currently we do have some in Russian. Okay. All right. So frequently asked questions. So how many people get in? For our intro class, it does vary, but our latest class had 116 students. So we don't cap it, but like I said, make sure that you complete all your guidelines for that pre-work assignment. Now for the advanced class, this can also vary, but we're trying to accept as many applicants that have acceptable pre-work. So just make sure that you're following all those guidelines, okay? All right. So what happens after class? After you take the intro class, you will then go on to take a advanced class. After you do the advanced class, you'll then do the practicum. And after that practicum, you can either apply for the apprenticeship if you're interested or applicable. You can start applying for intern or junior developer jobs right then and there. And also you can take another advanced class or another practicum to continue building on your skills to make you more competitive in the job market. Now, what do we look for in applicants? We look for a drive, okay? We don't want you to look at this as a side hustle or a hobby, or if you're just curious. We want you to know that, hey, I want that high paying job as a software developer, and we're prepared to get you there. All right, so that's all that you need. And then this is your first step to becoming a developer within a year or two. All right, so frequently asked questions. So what's the cost? Dun, 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 $0. All right, it's 100% free. We have grants and a development shop as part of our organization that allows us to offer these classes completely free for students. So we do ask, but we don't require that once you graduate and land your job as a developer, to either donate back time as a mentor or a volunteer, or funds to help others follow in your footsteps. One thing I do want to note is that a lot of organizations that operate like ours, they have free programs, but at the end, once you land that job as a developer, you do have to pay back as part of a contract. Like, you don't have a choice. But with us, you do have a choice, and we just want to see you succeed. You don't have to pay anything back, but we do appreciate donations. All right, so which classes should I apply for? And we'll send out the slide deck afterwards with the links, but you would just check out our classes checklist. Which you, if you go on our website right now, there's a class info section at the top that you can learn more about our classes. And then we have a frequently asked questions section of that page as well. All right, so at this time we have our Code the Dream alumni panel. Now, alumni is just people who've completed at least one class. All right, but we would like to welcome Edith and Ariel. If you guys want to unmute yourselves, and Edith, if you want to start and just explain your name, how long you've been with Code the Dream, and yeah, anything else you'd like to add.
Hi guys, my name is Edith. I'm actually also an Upwardly Global alumni. So I actually learned about coding through my job coach, Nadine from Upwardly Global. So she actually sent me a link about it, and I've been wanting to kickstart my career in field of technology program. So the Code the Dream caught my attention. Then I decided to apply for it. Um, I started in Code the Dream Academy last year, September 2023, and I actually finished my first class intro programming last month, January. So the best part in the classes are it is free, and the application process is really simple and straightforward. And I have completed the intro programming class, and I'm currently attending the advanced Node.js class. What I really appreciate about the program is its extensive training provided. So even though I had limited knowledge of coding, I was able to finish the class with my own portfolio website that I'm very proud of. Um, As a student, I also have access to mentors who are always ready to help me. As a beginner, I may encounter some problems on my coding, like my program doesn't run and all of that. So all you need to do is just schedule a mentor with the mentors, and you can get a one-on-one help with them to help you, and they're ready to help and encourage you no matter what is your coding journey. That's it.
Thank you so much.
and And so to anyone who's interested to apply for Code the Dream, my simple advice is just do it. Because first off, the application process is free. So there's that, and you don't also have to worry about the time commitment because the classes are very flexible. Although it says it needs to be 15 to 20 hours, if you can just allow the time to study and do your assignment, you actually can do it. And you also don't have to worry if you think you're not tech savvy enough. You can start with the intro programming, and you don't have to worry because there's always someone available to help you. So I think Code the Dream Academy is perfect place to start learning how to code.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I
Thank you for touching on, like, people, they're actually
Ashley, I think we're losing you a little bit. Oh, let's see. We can't hear you. I don't know what happened.
Someone asked a question or something.
Yeah, go ahead, Siltram.
Yes. So because I'm asking this question generally for all the applicants that we have or people who are interested in the room today. So what is one thing, if you say like somebody who really wants to apply, go through this whole boot camp, and then, what is that one thing that you would suggest that job seeker come prepared with, something that you were not prepared with, or you were like, oh, maybe I should have worked on my schedule first, or this is like a planning phase, or what are the things that they should come prepared with that would actually help them be successful in this program?
That's for me, right? Okay. So when I started, I'm actually pretty busy because I have my small business, I have a child with me, and well, there's that I have to balance. So I was completed the class by making a schedule. So I normally do like today I have to do my assignment. The next day I have to do my business. So there's that. I allocate my time. So in preparing, I guess after you apply the on the classes, they actually provide you the instruction how to get to the pre-work assignment. So all you need to do is follow those instructions. They also give you the link where you can learn how to do the pre-work assignment. So there's really nothing to worry about applying if you think you're not tech savvy, just what I am before, because I think I'm pretty much knowledgeable now because of Code the Dream Academy. So this study all the links or the courses they provided you so you can graduate in the class. Basically, that's all I have done. Prioritize time and just follow the instructions and ask for help if you need it to, because there's always someone ready to help you in Code the Dream Academy.
That is really great advice. Thank you so much for sharing, Edith. It looks like Ashley's back. Ashley, do you want to try to talk and see if we can hear you?
Hi guys, sorry, can you hear me? Okay, whew, thank you. All right. Okay, so also on this call we have Ariel. If you'd like to introduce yourself and explain more about your experience at Code the Dream, some positives, and then also, let's see, any piece of advice you would give to someone interested in applying.
Thank you, Ashley. So, hello everyone. My name is, well, it's Ariel, but most people call me Mao. I'm from Bolivia. And I started in Code the Dream around October 2022. So it's been a year and a half, something like that. And I already have some background experience in coding. So I was able to go to the advanced class. And after that, I did my practice, and then I was able to enter into the apprenticeship. It's a great program. I'm grateful with Upperly Global because I hear through them about Code the Dream. And I will say that it would not be easy. Like, even if you already have some experience, it's tiring, especially if it's not in your own language. Like, my first language is Spanish, so it's not easy to learn other language, learning through a language that is not your main language. So it could be tiring, but it's rewarding. Like, I feel that the community in Code the Dream, it's great. I feel supported all the time, but takes time. It's frustrating sometimes because many things are hard to understand. But if you're patient, you're gonna get there. If you're interested in this area of coding, it's gonna take a little bit of time, but after a while, you can get where you want to get. Any questions? Sorry, Ashley, we can't
hear you again. Oh no. It's all right. It's all good. That's why there's two of us. Mao, I wonder if you could share a little bit about, what else, if there's anything else you would advise. I love hearing Edith's strategies about how she managed her time. And like you said, it can also be really challenging if it's not in your first language. So what do you advise? What is your advice for new applicants?
don't feel the shame to make questions. Like, many times it's kind of, they're gonna realize that I don't know about this and they're gonna kick me out, and it's not like that. Not in Code the Dream. Like, they really support you. If you really don't understand something, you can ask how many times you want. And like if you're in this meeting with Upper League level, it's because you're looking for a job and you already realize that even sometimes we have this picture about the American dream that it's gonna be easy to find a job. I think you already realized that everything takes time and hard work. But yeah, you can get wherever you need if you keep pushing and trying. And yeah, it's part of doing it by yourself, but also I think if you find a good community like Code the Dream, it's really, really helpful. Yeah,
Thank you so much, Mao.
my pleasure.
Can I ask you?
Yeah.
Let's see, why don't we have one question now, and then we have a lot of questions in the chat that I was not able to get to. So let me see, I'm gonna remove your spotlight, Mao. And yes, was there one question? Did someone have a question for Mao?
I have a question for advanced class. If I understand, this company has only one advanced class. It's like Ruby and Rails. And my question is, do you need some special skills to go for this advanced class? Because, for example, I'm skilled Java developer. I have 11 years of experience, but I cannot see what skills can I get. For me, it's backend. It's great choice. Maybe some front end. It will be nice to have for full stack development. So for me, it's like it's difficult. For example, if you know another object-oriented language, if you know language, to go to advanced class and not go to the like for new in IT.
Sure. So I think for what we would recommend, then it sounds like you have quite a bit of experience. We would recommend that you try the pre-work for the advanced class, and then you can make your choice about which class, if you wanted to do a backend class, Node or Ruby on Rails, then that would be fine. But you should definitely try the advanced pre-work first. And if for some reason that is not working for you, then you can try the intro pre-work.
Okay, thank you.
Sultrim, I want to make sure you have a chance to speak.
Yes, thank you so much, Laurie. So my next question was, even though I'm not, so let's say when a job seeker applies, they do the pre-work, they get accepted, and then they go into classes. So will there be a timetable saying, okay, these are the times you have to take your classes, this is like time. Will there be a planned timetable for the job seekers so they can work their other schedule around it
Yes.
for the next 4 months?
Yeah, and we can absolutely address that about the class scheduling. I just want to see, I know Ashley has joined on her phone. I want to see if she's able to, if we can hear her.
All right, guys, check 1 2 1 2.
Yes.
All right, thank you.
I just love how we're a tech organization and we use Zoom or Google Meet or something like every single day, and we still manage to have technical difficulties every time. Yes, Ashley, do you want to take that last question, or would you like me to?
Oh, sorry. If you can, that would be great.
Sure, absolutely. Yes. In terms, the way that the class scheduling work is, yes, as Ashley mentioned before, we are really designed to be a very flexible program. But the way it will work is there will be a set number of live sessions. We call them mentor sessions, which are group sessions. And you will get to choose which of those you attend each week. The majority of them are at sort of East Coast evening time, though there is some flexibility, but there are at least 8 at least 8 sessions, I would say about 8 sessions every week. And you choose which are the ones that you can go to based on your schedule. So you will know all of those times in advance, and then you will be able to plan out your schedule so that you can decide which are the mentor classes you're going to go to, which are the days you're going to reserve, to study. And so you'll be able to plan that out in advance. Does that answer your question?
Yes, absolutely. Thank you. Because I was like kind of worried because the job seekers who've been invited, they're from all over US. So, the time difference and, and because our job seekers are transitioning, they do have, transferable jobs or survival jobs that they have to go to. So those were the things that I was kind of worried, because I know the ones, the sessions where they have to take the online classes, they can do it at their own free time or whenever. But those live classes, I was more worried about them. Like if there isn't a visible, a planned schedule, then it would be difficult for them to take time off from their work. So if it's already planned, they can, work their schedule around.
Yes. Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
you so much, Laurie.
We have a lot of questions in the chat. I was able to answer many of them in the chat, but they started coming in so fast, I did not get to them all. So maybe what we can do, Ashley, is I can go through some of these questions and then you or I can answer them. How does that sound?
Yeah, sounds perfect. Thank you, Laurie.
Great. Okay, let me see which ones I did not get a chance to answer yet. Let's see. Is there a very important question? Someone has asked, is it a guarantee to get is the apprenticeship guaranteed?
So the apprenticeship is not guaranteed. Like we said, it is a highly competitive program. So it's not guaranteed, but yes, that's really what it is. It's not guaranteed, but luckily the way that our classes work is that even if you don't get into apprenticeship, you can still go back and take additional classes, or like we said, you can go and apply for associate developer positions, internships, apprenticeships, or even right into software developers. You will have that experience once you complete our classes.
Absolutely. And just to tie in, someone else asked about eligibility for the practicum. The practicum is guaranteed. If you complete the advanced classes successfully, that's what at the end of every class, there's a final project. And the rubric is very clearly laid out what must be included in that final project to be considered, passing, to be considered completion. If you are able to complete that final project, you will automatically be accepted into the practicum. There's a number of questions with the link to the registration. I will get that in just one second, but if you do go to codethedream.org/classes, you will find it there, but I'll also put that in the chat in a moment. Someone has asked, are the classes remote? See, could you take that one?
Yes, the classes are remote, so they are in person. So wherever you live, wherever within the United States, you can definitely hop online and just attend our classes. They are remote.
Let's see. Do you help for landing jobs, like having a job fair or contracts with companies to help? I can take that question. We do have at the end of I will say traditionally that has not been a role for Code the Dream classes. We do that more once someone is in the apprenticeship. However, we are starting to implement more job support programs once you complete the practicum. So that is something that will continue to evolve as we go on. I will say that we've had wonderful partnerships with Upwardly Global in terms of being able to pair the job support that Upwardly Global offers together with the skills that you gain in Code the Dream.
I see 2 questions, which says it's quite interesting. They say, can we apply for more than one advanced class like React and the other one says, can we apply for both intro and advanced class?
Great questions. Can you take those, Ashley?
Yes, so you can apply for both the React and the Node class. You just can't take the Ruby on Rails advanced course with any other advanced course. So other than that, if you do, like I said, have around 40 hours per week to dedicate to both classes, you can definitely take both classes at the same time. Also, you aren't able to do an intro class and an advanced class at the same time. So you will either have to decide if you want to take the advanced course or the intro course. Now, what you can do is start off with advanced pre-work if you think that it may be too hard, like I said, or even any knowledge gaps. We can take you to the intro pre-work instead and be for the intro class, but you can't do both the intro and advanced at the same time.
Someone asked about dates for fall classes, and I was just looking those up. Let's see, the fall classes. The application deadline for fall classes is July 14th. Of course, as Ashley mentioned, just to reiterate, the deadline for our upcoming class for summer classes is March 17th. And then the pre-work deadline is 2 weeks after that. And then the class begins in May. For the fall, the application deadline is July 14th. The pre-work deadline is July 28th. And the class begins on September 18th.
So Laurie and Ashley, I think this question is kind of tied to the pre-work. It says, can I get a review of my pre-work assignment in early April so I have a chance to improve something? So I don't know.
That's a great question. Unfortunately, we don't have the capacity to review pre-work before, it's due. We have, hundreds of applicants to our class, and we don't have that capacity. However, I will say, like Ashley mentioned, we have it very clearly spelled out what the requirements are. And so I think if you and like Ashley said, we are trying very hard to accept as many qualified students as we can. So if you have a very good chance of getting admitted, if you complete the pre-work fully and that it checks all the boxes, and we're very clear about what those are. If you have extra time, we love to see people who do extra things in their code. It's a fun project, honestly. If you get into it, feel free to, add as much as you want. But for the basic requirement, it's very clear. And yeah, so unfortunately, we don't have the capacity to review it, but it's very clear what the requirements are. And if you have questions about that, you can always email classes@codethedream.org.
And then one thing you can do is also just to make sure your code runs, like after you've had everything within your code, just make sure that it runs properly.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, let me see what else I've written down here. Someone has asked, can I join the class, or will there be an interview to join the class to determine if you join the class?
All right, so there is no interview. The only steps for the application is to complete the written application and then to do the pre-work assignment, but no interviews at this time.
There's also several folks who have asked about how they will receive the links for the pre-work assignment. How does it work?
Yes, so once you go online to request an application, you will then be emailed. And this is a good point as well too. You will then be emailed the application, and then after you complete the application, you'll be emailed the pre-work. With that being said, once you go to request your application, make sure you put in a working email. Make sure that email is not overcrowded. Sometimes we get emails that say that the inbox is full. Sometimes people may type their email wrong. They may put Gmail instead of Gmail. That will make you not be able to get the application or the pre-work. So just make sure you have a good working email. Make sure it's not the email that you use for like spam when you're signing up for like rewards programs or anything, but your primary that you use for business.
Yes, if we fail the advanced class application, do we have a chance to apply for the intro class or advanced class again? Oops, Ashley, if you're talking, you are muted, or I can answer too.
I would like to ask you to answer it.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's no problem. If you do not succeed with your advanced application, but you can always go back to submitting the the application for the intro. We want you to succeed. Like Ashley said, we want you to, be able to join the class. So yes, if you do not qualify for the advanced class, but you have attempted it and you show some knowledge, we will admit you, if there are spaces, into the intro class. If you do not qualify the first time, yes, you can absolutely apply again. I will say this is a competitive program. There's a lot of, and as we continue to grow, it becomes more and more selective. So what I will say is that if you are admitted to the class, we want you to take that slot. We have some people who, I think because it's a free class, they may not treat it as seriously as some other programs. For us, this is very serious. We have a whole team of volunteers that is working to really help give this opportunity to people who may have not had this opportunity before. So if you are offered a slot in the class and you accept it, then we expect you to treat it very seriously, just as you would if it was a paid class. If you are not able to accept that, that's okay. You can, there's a chance to join at another time. But once you accept your position in that class, we expect you to treat it very seriously. There is a question about if you're not qualified for the intro or advanced class, is there a time interval for the next class? No, you can try again immediately. That's fine. Someone also asks, you already have experience with Ruby on Rails. Do you need to validate that? Do we need to validate the Ruby on Rails experience before you can take the React class? You still have to do the advanced pre-work. And that's what Ashley mentioned. You have to show some knowledge of working with APIs. You have to submit your assignment in GitHub. That is the way that you will validate your experience to us, is by doing that advanced pre-work. Let's see. On the slide, it said start date is June 12th, end date is February 4th. That means it takes 9 months to finish. That may be because the classes are about 4 months each, so 18 weeks, so 4.5 months, I guess. That's the advanced class. And then the practicum is another 8 to 10 weeks after that. Now, if that time falls in between the holidays, then we're off for a couple weeks during the holidays. So it's not quite 9 months, but it would be, 4.5 months plus 2.5 months plus a couple weeks for the holidays.
Yeah, so there is a break in between. You don't consecutively do the class for the entire 9 months time.
And I appreciate people who are, again, putting their questions in. I want to encourage anyone who asked a question that did not get answered in the chat, please go ahead and put it back in the chat. There were just so many questions coming. Let's see. Oh, Ashley, can you take this one? For someone who had 0 experience on Java or backend development, does the pre-work assignment provide you with the required materials to prepare for the assignment?
Yes. So like I mentioned, so you'll do a Khan Academy tutorial. So you'll go through the lessons one by one. You can repeat those lessons as much as you need to do. But those lessons are specifically designed so that you can complete the pre-work assignment. So the concepts that you learn in those tutorials will be the concepts that you use and demonstrate within that pre-work assignment. So nothing extra is required.
Do we help students land jobs after graduating from the boot camp? It's a very important question. And it is one, as I mentioned, we are mostly focused on the job search once our apprentices go through their program. We are adding additional job search components and job search support for students who have completed the practicum. And those are elements that we will be adding in. So there's a little bit of support, but really what Code the Dream is focused on is making you really good with your skills, with your technical coding skills. And then, we have not done as much in the past on the job support angle, where our part of really preparing you for the workforce is to make sure that your coding skills are really, really solid and what is needed for a job.
But also we do mock interviews. We do help with resume building and all like that too. So we won't leave you stranded or anything, like we are well-rounded with it. But like Lori mentioned, we do just make sure that you have those skills to go in and take the technical exam when coming to be a software developer. But like I said, we do have the mock interviews and all incorporated as well.
Any other questions? These have been really great questions. All right, I'm going to go ahead and close out the recording.